Now, as the trial of the decade continues, a judge in the trial of the South African athlete Oscar Pistorius has ordered that he should undergo a mental evaluation. She took that step based on the fact that psychiatric evidence before the court could not replace a proper inquiry into his mental health.
A South African court on Wednesday, May 14, ordered the Olympic track star Oscar Pistorius to undergo evaluation for mental illness. That is one move which could further delay the murder trial that has now stretched into its 32nd day.
The defense team.
I contacted the members of the defense on Tuesday, and I said I'm willing to testify.
Was that the first time?
That's the first time.
Which Tuesday?
This Tuesday, 2 days ago.
Judge Thokozile Masipa ruled that such an evaluation would ensure that Pistorius, accused of murdering his girlfriend River Steenkamp last year, would get a fair trial.
I don't think you can separate them.
May I just argue that as far as relevance is concerned, it should be relevant to the charges. We're not dealing with his emotions and or sentence at this stage. We're dealing with the charges.
It is
the evidence should be relevant to the charges.
I think it's relevant, Mr. Nell. Remember when you cross-examined him, you may not have said so in so many words, but you did ask him something like, you're not using the emotional thing as an excuse, are you?
I did.
Yes.
Well, my lady, I've objected. If the court finds it's relevant, I can't take it further.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Roux?
Masipa said the court would hand down the details of the assessment next Tuesday, adding that it would be preferable for Pistorius to undergo the evaluation as an outpatient.
Now, when you were with the accused, Mr. Pistorius, during his bail application, what is it that you want to tell the court?
What I saw from the first time that I saw him, from the first second, was a man that was heartbroken about the loss. He cried, he was in mourning, he suffered emotionally, he was very sorry about the loss, especially for her parents, the suffering they are going through. That was the theme throughout the whole period that I saw him.
Prosecutor Jerry Nell, however, argued that he wanted to prevent the 27-year-old sprinter, who faces life in prison if convicted of murdering his girlfriend, from later appealing on the basis of a disturbed mental condition.
Well, lady, we made a point that, and we put it to Professor Foster that, and we will argue, that the accused was not the most impressive witness. We will argue that his evidence be rejected. Isn't that then a reason why a psychiatrist is consulted after his evidence? If this was being the case of the defense from day one, it's unclear why the expert was only consulted then. That's why, my lady, we argue strongly that the timing of the witness being called and the timing of the consultations is important.
Nell told the court there was a reasonable possibility that Pistorius suffers from a mental illness, adding that without a proper evaluation, the case could later be appealed. In response, Barry Roos opposed the application and said the state was wrong to rely on the previous cases.
A, the state is wrong with respect by telling you it must only be an indication. B, the state is wrong by relying on these cases because each case has a history crying out for referral. C, the factual basis does not support the state, and it's just a ruse with respect in order to get a second opinion. Whether that's good or bad, that's irrelevant. And it's simply going nowhere.
All these actions and reactions were generated when a defense witness and forensic psychiatrist, Dr. Mariel Voster, testified that Pistorius suffers from generalized anxiety disorder after having his legs amputated at 11 months.
We're dealing here with a person diagnosed with GAD, general anxiety disorder. Now, a person suffering from GAD would certainly take care that he fixes that window immediately, because he's suffering from a disorder.
one would certainly expect that such an individual wouldn't leave a broken window for a prolonged time period, no. Yes. But I don't think that would mean that if it would happen during the day, they would find that they would have it fixed, let's say, that same day.
The anxiety disorder, a long-term condition that causes feelings of worry or fear in a wide range of situations, has worsened as Pistorius got older. She also believes that his parents' divorce when he was a child would have added to his general feelings of anxiety and insecurity. After the divorce, Pistorius was brought up by his mother, who died of cancer when he was aged 15. He has frequently spoken of the difficulty her death caused him. The state has sought to portray the track star as a gun-obsessed hothead who killed model and law graduate Steenkamp in a fit of rage. Pistorius has denied he killed Steenkamp in cold blood, saying he shot 4 times at the toilet door of his luxury Pretoria home to protect himself from what he thought was an intruder.
Welcome back to Network Africa. Now, just before we draw the curtains on this episode, band members of Basina Music rehearsed for an upcoming festival, and that's an event that many hope will become an important fixture on the Congolese music calendar. Founders of Basina Music, which means women in music in the local Lingala language, hope to create a movement that will give Congolese female artists more prominence in the industry.
Despite Congo's famed and rich musical heritage, fronting globally recognized musicians like Franco, Koffi Olomide, Papa Wemba, and with the exception of Mbili Bell, who is known as the queen of Congolese rumba, the industry is still predominantly male. With Basina Music, founder Merise Ngalula is hoping to change this and inspire more young women into music. The award-winning 37-year-old artist, who is based in Paris, grew up surrounded by the hip-thrusting Lingala tunes that artists like Olomide are famous for, but then emerged as an African jazz, soul and blues artist playing sultry harmonies with a guitar. For Ngalula, creating this all-female festival is also a way to give back to a country and share vast musical knowledge.
Basina Music is a concept that is aimed at women, to help female artists to reach a higher, greater level of success and exposure in music. It's also a movement that aims to help women to be able to work together.
To make the best of their artistic exposure and experience, a series of workshops with international musicians were organized. Young women had the opportunity to learn about different aspects of the music industry, including music production and songwriting.
This is really good because at the moment, it seems that women do not have a significant place on the musical scene. And yet, they are very smart and creative. I hope that this will help them in giving them more self-esteem. And this will allow them to do more concerts around Africa, in Europe, and everywhere else in the world.
Like many musicians in Africa, those in DRC struggle to live off their music. There are hardly any record companies or music producers. Hence, many give up on the musical dreams. By hosting this festival and workshops, organizers hope that women can recharge their careers with skills like how to get financing and market their music.
Well, people always think that a festival is about a big stage with big speakers. But for us, this is where we showcase our music, whether it is traditional or modern. And to celebrate this music with all female bands, this is why we have this festival.
Ngalula plans to develop the festival into an annual event and expand into neighboring countries.
And that's how we draw the curtains on this episode of Network Africa. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. As always, I'd love to hear from you. So feel free to send me an SMS via the number on your screen. Until next time, stay blessed and proudly African. I'm Cynthia Are. Bye for now.
A time comes in the life of every race when people are driven by echoes of the past to chart a course for an exalted future. Africa is at this threshold, as major actors in the Africa arena plot a renaissance towards common destiny.